Alrighty. I got a little thing that I can draw on screens now, I think. Should be very special.
Right
Anyways.
on this one, right?
Yep.
It's mid and then
Mid and then right?
his right goes far back.
Okay.
So I'm legit colorblind. I can like barely even see that. Your crosshair.
Just go straight.
It's probably fine for you though.
Okay,
they went to point.
Okay, wait, hold up. What do you guys have for a comp here?
Room? Server room.
Got a Junkrat,
Silver room.
Soldier,
That's-
Mana.
Right on this one, right?
Yep.
Lucio.
It's mid and then
Mid and then right?
his right goes far back.
Okay.
Just go straight.
So when you hop up here, usually you want to, like, you don't know that they're not going to be here. So, like, for all you know, they're going to have a Widow right here. So you just want to flash shield real quick as you peek corners. Like, as you're approaching a corner, just jump around the corner with your shield up real fast. If there's no one there, fine, drop it. No harm, no foul. But start with your shield up by default. And then you can put it down after that.
Okay,
There,
they
man.
went to point.
Yeah, which is point. Go to the right
They're
side.
coming up here. They're coming up here.
Oh, Zen's one in the back.
Keep a half.
Okay, I'm on
You're
Ryan.
back.
I'm on Ryan.
Okay.
Touching point. I got point.
Ryan's one.
Right side.
Did a really good
Dead
job
blue low.
there, flashing your shield every once in a while, doing 2 swings and like right here. So you're you did
Okay, I'm on
swing,
right. I'm on
swing,
right.
and then you shielded. Swing again.
Okay.
Touching
Again,
point. I
shield.
got
I
point.
would have done one
Okay, I'm on
swing
right,
there though,
I'm on
because
right.
like what you want to be watching here is like swing, swing, shield, swing, swing, shield is good. That's what you want to be doing. But the reason why you're doing that is so you have time to slow down and you're paying attention to your health. So every time that you press right click, your eyes should immediately be going right here on your health. Every time. That is why you're pressing shield, is so you don't just keep swinging and swinging and swinging and swinging. So if you are at 417 right now, so you're not full. I mean, you're not at a bad spot. Fuck. You're not at a bad spot right there, but you're not full HP. And that's what you should be thinking about here is I'm not full HP. So
I'm on Ryan.
when you flash shield here, now you're at 350, you're like, okay, you know, should I do 2 swings again? Because you usually do 2 swings when you're full HP. You got like a couple people in front of you, the whole team in front of you. I would have done maybe 1 swing, maybe none. I probably would have done 1 and then jumped back towards my team here. Because I don't even think you're getting healed. Like if you're currently being pocketed, you can be a little more aggressive. But right now, so you're not being healed. So I would say 350 HP. I would do maybe 1 swing, drop the shield 1 swing, and then back up. 2 is fine. I mean, you see, you did survive, but like you're playing a little close to the chest here, so I would
Point. I got
probably.
point.
Ryan's
Right
one.
side.
You're on a save your life
Dead blue
date
low.
there, but I did like that you were dropping the shield periodically. Just keep in mind why we drop the shield periodically, and it's because you want to keep an eye on your HP. Because as tank, you spend your HP points to give your team space. That's your job. So you can't, let yourself get too low. If you lose your armor, I'd probably just be really
Yeah,
passive.
point.
Or if you're even close to losing your armor, I'd play a lot
Over.
safer.
Nice,
Got
dead.
Zen.
He's out.
Zen.
Nice.
Dead's out.
Push forward.
Okay, that was a little. Hold up.
We have point.
So you're here. Your entire team is fighting up here, right? And you backed up to point. I don't know why right here. So
Dead blue
right
low.
here, you got booped down. That happens, but you should get right back up in here and stand
Yeah,
in front
point.
of your team. But you keep backing up. You backed up. Your entire team pushed forward. You need to be the one in front. Your entire team goes this way. You are flanking or something. This would be fine if you were like, I don't know, McCree, Tracer. But you need to be up here with your team because right now they don't have you shielding them or helping them. Like you guys are winning this fight quite handily. You have like 4 picks, so it's not a big deal. But were this a closer fight, this could be fatal.
Nice,
Get
dead.
This is out.
And you also
Nice.
contributed nothing to any of these kills because you were just chilling on the point and then going around the back. So
Out.
you want to be
Push
pushing
forward.
in first.
Alright, good job everyone.
Jump
I
down.
almost have my repair.
So right here, your team's all moving up. This is good. You guys want to be holding this
good.
choke right here
Nope.
on the door. You should be in front of them, trading places with your Zarya periodically.
Almost have Visor already.
Your Ana's a little far up, but that's
Can
not
we
on
always
you.
D.Va in the next fight?
So right here, you're shielding really before they're in here. Like if you have people pushing, that's fine. But like you're shielding all this time, or not all this time, but a
Already?
little bit of the time here, like right there. You just start
Can we always
taking
D.Va in
spam
the next
damage
fight?
before you don't have anybody peeking. Like your entire team is just playing way in the back, not even peeking. So you didn't really need to shield there, but it's not bad. It's just that if at all possible, when the enemy is coming through the choke, if it's not dangerous, they don't have any snipers, they don't have any like burst damage that's gonna or sleep darts or whatever that's gonna like just instantly like fuck you guys over if it hits somebody. You want to have your shield go up after the enemy Rhine shield, because while they're pushing towards you, because you want him to start taking barrier damage before you. The easiest way to win the shield war is to not have your shield up, because it's not taking damage. If you can have your shield down at a time where your team is not in any danger, that is the best time to have your shield down, and that is the easiest way to win the shield war, because you will have your shield for when you need it. So if you can correctly identify times that you don't need it, that'll make it way, way easier to win the shield war. So you're at 1500. I don't know what he's at, but probably a little lower to be honest, because he had to push into you guys. But it's possible it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely lower because this is correct. I think it starts doing that at 500. Or maybe 1,000. I don't even know. I can't remember.
Alright, I'm on field.
Right shield's almost broken.
Okay, let's see how you died here. So you're
Okay.
just about full here. You got chunked. That's 2 swings.
Alright, I'm on field.
Right
Went to
shield's
the
almost
third
broken.
and you died. So the 2 swing thing would have saved you here.
Alright, I'm on
And you're also peeking their entire team here. And your Zarya just bubbled whoever the hell this is. I think it's your Lucio.
field.
Right shield's almost broken.
Yep, it's your Lucio. So that bubble should have been for you. But, I mean, you can't always count on it being for you. So you could have saved yourself with the, sticking with the 2 swings usually, especially if you're peeking this many people. But
Buster Ryan, we should back up.
it's not entirely
Yep,
your
back up.
fault, but it's definitely,
As well, Visor.
it was fixable if you had,
D.Va?
That was my fault.
if you'd done the 2 swings. So just
You're right down.
be careful, and also when you're when you
Alright,
are
we're-
peeking people like that, it's fine to peek them. Like you peeking people is okay, but the reason you died so quickly is because you peeked everybody at the same time. Like you didn't need to peek everybody. You could have just played the corner here, like right here. You could have just stood up, like close on this corner here, and just swung away at everybody coming through this little choke, and you could hit everybody here right from this corner. You don't need to stand all the way over here in the line of fire of everyone. That is how you die horribly and quite quickly. So it's okay, but you don't need to peek multiple people at once. I would say usually you want to just peek 1 or 2 people at the same time. So like if you're right here on the side, if you start taking damage, all you need to do is you back up like 1 step and then you're good. Because you're only peeking a couple people, so they're not all going to be able to shoot at you at the same time. Whereas if you're all the way out in the center of the doorway, the only thing that can save you is your shield, which you could have done, but if you weren't out there to begin with, you wouldn't have needed saving. So you want to be playing close to the edge of the choke instead of like out in the middle, unless you have a really good reason to be out in the middle. Okay.
We're up right now.
Go ahead and use
Okay,
fire
well,
whenever.
I ran into that. My bad.
And I'll nano you so you can build back up real quick.
So that was a questionable flame strike. So you got your whole team. You see everybody right here. They've gotten a couple kills. Their enemy's not pushing in. If anything, they're backing up. Your team's pushing in, if anything, and you just throw a flame strike.
And I'll nano you
You
so
shouldn't
you
be
can build
expecting
back
anybody
up
to
real
be
quick.
here.
I'm gonna go Genji just because it's
Not a huge deal. But
Oh,
there's no reason for you to expect that flame strike to hit somebody, so you want to just be throwing it where you think people are going
Nice
to be.
Val.
We're
Alright, push
rolling, so
back
we're
forward.
looking to use ults here.
So
Push
you
back
need to
forward.
be moving back up to the door. So I'd probably go ahead and destroy this trap here, and then I would have everybody push back up to the door, if I were you. I think you might have lost one person. I can't remember who.
Fight.
Watch trap.
Nice. Okay, so this is okay because they're down a little bit, but you got to be wary of peeking the entire door again while you're killing shit.
Next fight.
Watch trap.
So peeking him here is fine, but you could stand like right here. And you wouldn't really need to chase him back. Like you could have just angled yourself like over on the side here. Instead of walking this way, you walk this way and cut him off from his escape because he has to go this way basically. And if he doesn't, he's kind of just feeding. So he has to go that way. So if you just follow him or like follow him but cut him off at the same time, you wouldn't have been peeking as much and you still get the kill. So you didn't have to go out quite as far. But that's not a big deal. You guys got him, and you did put the shield up this time after you started taking damage, so it's fine. But you do want to be making sure that you're informing your team of the Junkrat on the right in case.
Junk
Right
top
side.
right. Junk
Yep.
top right.
Nice calls on the junk top right. Good job keeping your shield up there because your Lucio was quite weak. But now that the Junkrat is backed off and your Lucio is now safe, your shield is weak, I would definitely drop it right here and charge it up.
Okay, I'm gonna tire.
So you should not be shielding right now because the enemy's
Now
regrouping,
this
they're not
nano
pushing.
shot towards you,
Your
so you
team
can
is safe.
get thrown back real quick.
It's
Start
time for
fighting.
you
Expect it.
to charge your shield.
Alright, they're gonna
But every
retire.
time
Alright,
your
I got
shield
the-
is about
I
to
got the
start
Lucio.
charging, you shield again. You haven't let it get above
Right side.
like 800 HP in like a couple.
Hurt. Okay, nice.
Oh,
That was a well-timed shield there at the end. But
I got shattered.
They're purple, they're purple, they're purple.
okay, when your Zarya shatters, your number one priority is to hit the flame strike on the shatter. Number one. Because this does the most damage out of anything that you can do. Because the charge, while good, because it does 300 damage on a single target or kills a squishy, and 50 to everybody else in the grav because it bumps them, this does 100 to everybody in the grav. That is way more important. And also that'll build your ult, but you already basically have that. But so you want to always make sure that the flame strike, you're going to hit that on the
Okay,
grav.
nice.
Second on the grav, I would say, is if there's a Rhine in the grav, is block the shatter. That's the second most important thing. So you don't want to just be swinging away into like a madman unless you have nobody else to follow up on it, so you have to do it. So I would be still flashing shield, like when you're up in front of the grav. So I would have. This flame strike wasn't great, but I think you got.
I got shattered.
No, you just missed. Okay, so yeah, that flame strike, you missed that on the grav. But so you just want to, like, they're not moving, just take your time with it. It's no big deal. You guys also wasted sound barrier here, which is questionable. But that's not you. But I think you guys just need to say what ultimates that you're going to be using this fight, because I wasn't hearing anybody saying that I'm going to be grabbing. I wasn't hearing like, oh, I'm going to use sound barrier, because this is an aggressive sound barrier. This is not a reactionary one where he uses it to save his life or the life of a tank or in reaction to an enemy ultimate. This is just him chucking it in there because you've all got full HP and he wants you to have twice that. So I need to hear you guys talking about what ultimates you're going to be using before you're using them. Not just the first I hear of our grav is going to be used is your grav is literally out there with 4 people in it and you guys are not in a position to follow up on it. Because when you had your grav go down, you were all the way back here behind this thing. You're friggin' 10, 20 feet away. And he grabs, and the only person up there is him. So you need to be, as a team, talking about that. And this is not just Zarya's fault here. This is as a Reinhardt, one of your biggest things is like you're sitting there with the shield up all day, right? It's kind of like Mercy to an extent, where your entire game is the positioning and the ultimate tracking and all of that shit. That is your stuff. So that's got to be something that you got to be thinking about a lot as a Reinhardt is not just what ults the enemies have, but which ones you're going to be using, and you need to be really vocal about it. Okay, like what are we using this fight? And if the enemy's approaching you and you still don't know, you fucked up. So you guys ended up wasting your sound barrier because you did not talk to your team. And if you were like, hey, we're going to use Grav, and then you look and see like, hey, what do we have to go with Grav? Are we just going to have a Rein swing into it? Okay, if that's the case, then you should be right up on that corner at the choke. And you should be camping it, waiting for the Grav. I think it's fine anyways,
I got
because
shadow.
They're crippled, they're crippled, they're crippled.
you just kind of killed everyone.
Junkrat's looking to go to point. He's coming around the right side. He's coming from server room.
But
There
that
he
could
is.
have
Okay,
gone
push up,
very
push up,
poorly.
push up.
Like say you had gone around the right side instead of the left, and you weren't shielding, and you got shattered with your whole team. You could have just got nothing out of that. But it worked out.
Don't push.
But
Don't
that's
push.
just the
Back
kind
up.
of thing
Back
you
up.
gotta
Back
be
up.
wary
At
of.
some point.
Oh, god damn it.
Don't push. Don't
Okay.
push.
Okay, push up.
So
push up.
here's what happens here: is right here,
Junkrat's looking to go to
you hear somebody say Junkrat is looking to go to point, right? That means that at least a couple of your teammates are backing up, so you can't be going with Zarya.
point. He's coming around the right side.
Also, you're a Reinhardt. You don't need to be pushing up to eliminate these guys because you're a melee hero and you don't have a Lucio with you speed boosting you in, so you can't catch them. All they have to do is walk away and you will never close the distance. So you should just be chilling and choke here,
He's coming from server room.
unless your Lucio's gonna pop up with you. So he said Junkrat come from server room. You're half HP.
There he is.
I'll probably back
Okay,
up.
push up.
Pushing up here is not the good call because he said you're at 95. You got Junkrat going to point, so you need to cut off Junkrat. He's already killed your Lucio. I would be, if anything, holding the choke. Probably. I'd probably hold the choke or back up a little bit, depending on which of my teammates backed up to take care
Don't
of him.
push. Don't push. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back
At
up.
some point.
Oh, god damn it.
So yeah, your entire team backed up to point. Like your entire team shouldn't have backed up to point, but you as Reinhardt hearing that somebody is going for point, that should be your cue to be like, hey, I need to turn around and see who's still with me here, because I think it was just you and Zarya. I think everyone else left. It's hard to tell since I can't look around in the game and I only could see what you could. But when you hear that somebody's behind you, that's your cue to not to go for it, because that's not, as Ryan, that's not your job to go for chase down kills like that. But you do need to keep in mind if your team is repositioning to chase down a kill, or part of your team is repositioning to chase down a kill, so that leaves you with 1 or 2 or 3 or however many less people at the choke, then you can't take a fight at the choke because you are now at a man disadvantage. So you need to be backing up, and I probably would have held at this corner, or I would have held maybe slightly further back even, depending on, but I would have given the ground freely, The nano rat.
Oh, okay.
Get the.
Yeah, so
Winston,
your whole
Winston,
team's
Winston,
on
Winston.
Mug's
point.
triple.
But I think
Winston.
looks like they're winning it anyways.
Mug is sleeping.
Okay,
But
I'm
that
coming in.
was
Is there a
the-
sword when I come in if there's no bubble?
Oh no, oh no, oh no!
Okay, so when there's a diva bomb, you don't need to shield the whole
Okay, I'm
duration.
coming in. I'm
Is
gonna
there sword?
shower when
Like
I
you
come in
know,
if
it's
there's no
like
bubble.
you're good, you're good, you're good,
Oh
you're
no,
good. Now
oh
shield.
no, oh no!
When that
Like
bubble.
you don't need to just be like walking the entire time with your shield up. Say your shield is low, right? Like say you've got 100 HP on your shield, and you're surrounded by enemies, and they throw a diva bomb. If you do that, and your team needs your shield to survive, everybody dies because of that. So that's just not a good habit. So you gotta be able to, if you had like 100 HP on your shield, to just flash it right as the diva bomb is about to go off, and then block it. Also, it just slowed you getting to the point because you were walking real slow with this right click, which I don't think would have changed much, but just in general, you want to just time it so
Sean, I'm gonna shatter.
We lost the fight. We lost
it's
the
a
fight. Bail,
little
bail,
bit
bail, bail,
closer.
bail,
You
bail.
don't
We
need
lost
to
the
just
fight. We
hold
lost the
right
fight.
click for the
We
entire
are
time.
regrouping. We come back in with ults.
Okay, Okay, I have Reptire.
So when you're backing up, you want to drop the shield, jump back, and then flash it, drop it, jump back, flash it. You know, like not just jumping, like you're jumping
Rudy,
here
second, back in
and
with ult.
going, which is part of it. That's almost what you want to do, but you still have the movement speed decrease. So basically, you drop the shield, so the movement speed decrease is gone. Jump backwards, and then mid-air, put the shield up. Once you land, you take another step back, jump, put the shield up. Here, you get nothing out of this. You're not going
Okay,
any
I
faster
retire.
backwards. You're not going slower,
Give me a
but
second,
you're
get back in
definitely
with
not
ult.
going faster. So I would just, you want to make sure that you're flashing the shield as you jump backwards. Because I remember what we did talk about that, and I think you might have remembered part of it because you were jumping there. But you just got to remember to drop the shield, jump, and then because your momentum will not change when you're already in the air, you get to put the shield up when you're in the air. So you get to back up faster while still maintaining some shield presence. That's the idea.
I'll have it.
I won't have nano for it.
Alright.
Alright, so here you got your blade, I think that you said. You've got shatter. Enemy Ryan should be getting close to his shatter. He used it last time in the grav. So you got to be thinking about things that can stop your shatter. Primarily, the Reinhardt shield, Zarya bubbles, and stuns. So
Push
let's
it.
just see how you approach this here.
I'll have blade.
Speed.
Okay, they don't have a Zarya, I don't think, actually. They got Diva, Winston. They swapped off Ryan, I think, to get to point faster.
What we do
So you have the Winston bubble to worry about. So the instant I see this Winston, what I would be saying to my team is force out Winston bubble right now. Everybody focus Winston. Get him to use his bubble. Once he does, break the bubble, and then you shatter everybody for free and win the fight. Because they don't have a Zarya, can't block it, just the Winston bubble. So you just need to kill this Winston. Winston bubble's
When that
down.
bubble's gone, I'm shattering.
Nice, huge. I love that you said that.
Good.
So here, shatter this idiot. This Lucio, I don't care. Shatter someone. It doesn't need to be huge. Just kill
Here
someone.
comes now.
Okay, I like that you called it out before. You don't need to call it the now. Okay, the now is completely irrelevant because that's cluttering comms because everybody on your team is going to hear Reinhardt say hammer down. They don't need you saying now as well. So I really, really like that you called out your shatter before. I really, really like that you were focusing the Winston bubble and you told your team that, hey, I'm going to shatter after this Winston bubble. That was fantastic. I love that. So I'm really glad that you did that. The only other thing I would say is if Winston hadn't used the bubble, I would call it to focus out the bubble and not just to say, hey, I'll be shattering after the Winston bubble. Just call out to break the Winston bubble. Be like, hey, break it. Like so your DPS and other people are shooting at it breaks faster.
Looks like Diva's out of mech. Diva's out of mech.
Really nice shatter though. That was
No
huge.
more ult?
Oh wow.
Okay, well,
Nice charge.
Nice charge.
Baby Diva
I
low.
got her. Diva,
I'm in the
Diva.
room.
So here,
Diva's out of mech.
No more ult?
it's a good idea to shield when like you're not sure where people are. Like you just shield, look around while you're trying to figure out where stuff is. That's a good idea. I like this instinct to shield. But once you shield, you look at your health. You're, okay, I'm 400 HP, and then you look up here and you see that you've killed literally like everyone. You should be like, oh, my team has a ridiculous advantage, and that's not the time to be shielding. So what you want to think here is after you cap the point and you've killed everyone on it, you want to push up and stop the enemy from going
Nice
back to
charge.
touch.
Baby Diva
I
low.
got her. Diva,
I'm in the
Diva.
room.
So you need to be moving up here, like at this over here, and you need to be swinging at people or
Yeah,
hitting them or whatever to stop them from touching the point.
Okay, good job.
That
Alright.
was not a very good sound barrier,
Good job.
Yeah, man. Good job.
but yeah, you just need to
Good
be
first round.
thinking of
Guys,
where
that
you
was
need to
really
be going
good. That was
next.
really good. The only thing
was a
is
really
we
great
lost that
shatter at the
fight
end.
just because you were split. But other than that, you guys played that really well.
Yeah, Two-Ton, I heard in comms that people were backed up, chasing a Junkrat. That's why we needed to have gotten back faster.
Yeah, I must have just missed it.
Yeah. So I was talking about earlier. I guess you missed it. Sometimes it happens. Maybe you should, I don't know, turn people up or turn the game volume down. If that's something that happens a lot, I don't know if it is, but that's just something you'll have to do on your own judgment.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I missed a sleep on the Junkrat.
It happens
so
to me
managed
too.
to touch him for overtime.
But as
It's
long
playing
as
really
you
well, though.
didn't
Keep it up.
like hear it and just
So,
ignore it, it's
do we
fine.
want the
I
Mercy
think.
now?
But if you
Yeah, sure.
hear it, you gotta react to it, at least a little, or like maybe adjust your play sometimes.
Just try to make sure you two are coordinated for when the Mercy's with the team and when the Mercy's with the fair. Let's go courtyard.
Yep. Okay.
There's
They have
still
a
Winston.
Winston, they have a Pharah, they have a Diva, and a...
So what I would have done here is right as you peek this corner, I would have flame struck instantly right here, just for the ult charge.
Okay.
There's
They have
still
a
Winston.
Winston, they have a Pharah, they have a Diva, and a
They went
Lucio.
left. They went left.
So when you hear that they go left here, you should be thinking to cut them off.
Okay.
So
They have a Winston, they have a Pharah.
you end up walking this way. Your entire team goes to point along with Lucio. So this is not good here. You and your Lucio need to be on the same page here. I want to see you or Lucio
Okay.
needs to be the person that says where you're going. You see them go this way. I want your entire team going this way to cut them off, or chasing behind them as Lucio. And you and Lucio, if any two people on this team need to be on the same page, it is you and Lucio. You two need to be glued to each other for half the game at least. Lucio has things where he has to run off and save people and do other stuff, speed boost people around, but 99% of the time, Lucio is going to be on you, speed boosting you around to make you a giant swinging hammer on wheels. And also to make sure that you can reposition quicker and do your job better. So you ended up going right, Lucio ended up going left, and you guys were totally split. And that is suboptimal to say the least. So Lucio had the right idea going left, but he didn't say, hey, let's go left, go left, go left, go left. You didn't say go right or go left, you just went right. So you and Lucio need to be communicating, and when the entire team is supposed to be moving somewhere, you need to be saying it.
Winston, they have a Pharah, they have a Diva, and a
They went
Lucio.
left. They went left.
So you said they went left,
Just
and
go
then
on
you're,
point.
you're
No, I'm
behind
not
them.
with you.
So you could have, if you moved there right away, you could have gone with them. I don't like that charge, but so
Let's just go on point.
yeah, you should have
No,
been with
I'm
the
not with
Lucio here. Going on point is a good call. So you here want to be in front of your team, probably on the left door. I would have
They went
pushed,
left. They went left.
Let's
like
just go
walking here on through this door is fine. Get us cut a couple swings, but then I would have backed up, like walk through here is fine, but I would have backed up over to here through this door because this is your entire team is back in this direction, right? So I would have had you shielding this door, not over here. And charging backwards when you're in a team fight, that's okay. Sometimes if you're weak or you're too deep or you got booped in or something, that can be okay. But like right now, you don't really have a good grasp of like, how this fight's going to turn out or if you're going to need to be shielding people. I heard a couple callouts of, who they were running, but I don't think it was everyone. So for all you know, they have a sniper, they have a Hanzo or a Widow or whatever, and like you might need to be shielding that. So before you have a better grasp of the situation, I'd be really, really wary about going for pins on tanks in the backline because that's not your job to punish the tank in the backline. Like it is a little bit, like you swing at them, sure, if they're there, but you don't go for the pin on them. So I wanna. Okay.
Point.
Val, I'm not with you.
So that's all about that. So here, I would have backed up on the left. I wouldn't have charged back there.
Oh,
Split.
I can't not here.
Come back.
Because
Come
you
back.
guys are
Come
kind
back.
of
Power one, power one,
Val?
power one on the sky.
Okay, your shield is facing the wrong direction this entire time. So the pin, not really a fan of that. So you got Diva and Pharah behind you, I think, right? And then you have the rest of the entire team on the point.
Split.
So
Not here.
the Pharah, who is shooting at your supports over here, is not shooting at you, and the Diva, who's shooting at your supports over here, is not shooting at you. You do not need to be shielding this. You're not protecting them by shielding this. You're not protecting anybody on point by shielding this. You're not protecting yourself by shielding this. The only thing you're doing is exposing your back to the entirety of the rest of the team, which is why you take so much damage so quickly here. So if you had been standing here facing the opposite direction, that would have been okay.
Come back. Come back.
That's
Come
it.
back.
Power one, power one.
Val?
So you are getting obliterated by this Junkrat that you weren't looking
Leave
at.
on me one, thank you.
Moira's low. Junkrat one.
Okay, Okay.
So
Okay,
right
that-
here,
Thank you.
I would have gone for the charge. That's your only, like, your best case scenario right here is that you magically get a pin on him and trade.
Moira's low. Junkrat 1.
Or I would have tried to
Okay,
stay on
that-
point, one of the two.
Bang you back, take you back, take you back.
Big res.
Because you want to be with
Fire's
your
down.
team here.
Deep on me one, thank you.
But, I mean, hey, you probably would have just died anyways because you were
Moira's
so
low.
weak. So I understand why you
Junkrat
backed up
1.
here.
Okay.
But you shouldn't have just had your shield not even facing their entire team. So
Huge.
your job is not really to peel. So when you see a diva go in the back like that, if she's close enough that you can turn, take 2 steps, and swing at her, do it. Probably. I mean, not always, but a lot of the time you will turn and swing at her at least once or twice before you put your shield back up and block the front. So still like that 2 swings, shield, 2 swings, shield, check the situation, make sure that like the enemy's not like speeding into you or something. So like you do want to help punish people that are overextending like that, and tanks especially. But that's not your job as Ryan primarily. Like you have other jobs that need attending to. So while you do assist with that, that's not what you're doing. So I like that you were worried about your supports there when they were getting messed up by the Pharah, but they were peeling for each other. They were healing each other. Neither of them died. They're fine. You know, they only had like a diva who wasn't really even using her rockets and she wasn't very close, and a Pharah. So they were
Bang
fine.
you back,
Big
take you
res.
back,
Big
take you
res.
back.
Big res.
So just having an idea of
Nice.
where
Yep.
the enemies are and
Push
where
work.
they're split.
Nice job.
Okay, so here I want to see you guys moving up to the door on the right side, holding that door.
Good res.
We're rolling, so Val, as soon as you can see a
So I
Raj,
want
you
you
should go for it.
telling everybody to come to
Okay,
this door. I don't know if
alright.
you all just knew, but I like that you're at this door. But I don't know if everybody is because you all just walked to it. And you didn't say anything. No one said anything. So maybe this is like something you guys always do and you didn't need to, but you want to remind people like, hey, we're holding the door here. So you got at least 4 of you here. Okay.
Break bubble.
Alright, I'm gonna barrage when they go through the choke.
So if we're gonna barrage when they come through the choke, what you want to do is you want to back up just a little bit here and let them give them a tiny bit of space. Let them come in because your shield's pretty weak right here, 700. So I would
Well,
back
let me
up just a
clear-
little bit. I would come over to this side over here, like behind this wall, and I would let them think that you have backed up or you're not going in. Your Pharah should be directly above this door, like, you know, not like directly, 20 feet up in the air, but like against the wall. So if they come in, they need to be standing in the feral to kill her, basically. That's what you want. So you want to back up over here and let them come in and charge your shield, obviously, as well. And since your Pharah is saying, hey, that's what I'm looking for, you need to adjust your positioning accordingly to bait the enemy in so they try to do that.
Oh, there is.
Okay, I got the Pharah.
Good job, Val.
Okay, my shield's low. Shield's low.
So you letting your shield break here is not good. So once again, shield management. You want to be behind the wall here when you're getting fucked up that hard. There are times when you let your shield break because you need to, but this is not one of them. So breaking shield, it's gone for 4 seconds now, and it won't even start charging.
soldier right
for
side, soldier
another
far
4
right side,
seconds.
soldier far right.
So I want to see you
Well, let me.
right, like
Alright, I'm gonna barrage
here.
when they go through
You're like,
the
oh, my
choke.
shield's a 700. I want to see you getting behind the wall here and letting your shield charge and baiting them in. I do not want to see you standing in front of choke, holding right click, and letting it get damaged because they don't have any pick potential anyways. So your team, just tell them, hey, I'm resting my barrier, I'm recharging it. Don't be
Well, let me.
ridiculously aggressive.
Oh, there is.
Like you're not trying to
Okay, I
block a
got the
shatter.
power.
You're not saving your team
Okay,
from
my
an
shield's
ultimate
low, shield's
that's
low.
trying to kill everyone.
Soldier right side, soldier far right side,
So
soldier far
you
right.
need to be saying shield low when your shield's at like
Okay,
Get this
700,
diva.
800,
Pharah
not
has no boost.
100. Also,
Alright.
charging broken DMX is not the way to go.
Monkey, monkey, monkey.
So this was
Diva, diva,
way
diva,
out of
diva.
position here.
Alright,
So
that's so
you
far.
swinging at the diva, great, love that. You see this
Okay.
diva getting stupid aggressive, flying into your entire team. I love that you're like diva, 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 because everybody should be killing her because she is feeding her brains out. But if everybody is shooting at her like they should be and like they did, you don't need to be wasting your charge on her because you've got the damage. The damage is there, and you don't need to be the damage. You need to be the Reinhardt. You need to be the main tank. And the main tank is not doing his main tank thing if he just charged away from his entire team onto the point. So you
Diva,
would
diva,
do 1 or
diva,
2
diva,
swings
diva.
here right after you hit her or you're hitting her a couple times because she doesn't have a boost. She's not going anywhere, you know? She just flew into your team. She will be in your hammer swing range. She's not leaving. So I would hit her with a couple swings. Once she's demacked, if your team's having trouble finishing her, which I doubt, then I would maybe clean her up because it's easy for Reinhardt to get her. It just takes 2 swings. But I probably would have just hit her maybe once or twice, and then I would have turned around and shielded again, or at least watch the front, which is where Reinhardt is. Reinhardt's the front line. You don't want to be charging to the back here. And if you do charge to the back, be like, okay, here is where you want to say play point, play point, play point, because you are no longer up on the front line where you should be, because that's where your Zarya is. Your Zarya is where you should be. You should be right there. But you're not. And since you're not, you need to be telling your off tank and everybody else that you should be protecting to play the point.
Monkey, monkey, monkey. Alright, soldier next, soldier next.
Soldiers down.
Get their
All right,
healers.
support.
You go first.
I like the target call.
Far as in the air, far as in the air.
Alright, push up.
Far south.
Could be playing the choke here.
Okay, I have Barrage. I'm gonna try to get at you.
They're one high ground.
So you're just kind of shielding for no
High
reason
ground?
here. I'd
Okay.
be charging it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd be backing up a little bit because they said they're coming high ground. Well, it looks like they're definitely not coming in the choke over here. So they're coming high ground either here or here. So I'd be backing up, letting them give a little space so that if you are standing up on the side here, you don't get jumped by them and have them come in behind you and split you guys. So you would need to back up just a little bit, give them some space, so when they drop down, you guys are still in a good, solid position to confront them with your shield. I'd probably play right next to the statue. I like this, because then if your shield gets really low, you can hide behind the statue and charge it.
I'm saving bubble for you, Val.
So now that you know that they're up there, I
Bubble
play by
me?
the
Go
statue.
now, go now.
I really like that you guys called for the bubble there.
One pick.
If you
Put it on
both-
that.
Nice, you guys are doing
Nice.
great here. That was a really good call for the bubble on the Pharaoh ult. Maybe you want it a little bit earlier. You want to be like, hey, I'm going to do my ult. Okay, get ready to bubble me. Not bubble me. You know, like be like, okay, get ready to bubble me, and then like count it down 3, 2, 1, and then just ult. That's not really for you, but that's
Get that diva.
kind
get
of
that diva.
kind of for
Remember
kind of for
Diva?
everyone. I don't like that
Okay,
charge. You
Lucio,
really like
Lucio,
charging
Lucio.
this diva, dude. What'd she do to you?
I have
Okay,
shatter.
who's that?
Okay, so
Get that diva.
I like that she flew in there and you're calling to get her because she is feeding. That's good.
That diva.
But this charge is totally unnecessary.
Remember Diva?
First of all, you angled it there, which actually terrifies me because you almost went off the map.
Diva?
But you turned it back in
Okay,
time.
Lucio.
But yeah, you don't need to be
I have
charging
shatter.
it,
That.
really.
Alright, we're gonna shatter when this.
Because their Orion probably has shatter too.
Diva?
Like, he's been doing more damage than you, I think, because you died in that first fight and didn't really get a lot done. So while they have been dying horribly, I think the Orion's been probably getting more damage. So he probably has shatter, and you definitely have shatter, obviously. So you need to be thinking, hey, this Reinhardt
Okay, Lucio.
has shatter. I can't be doing crazy charges on divas because I need to block the shatter that is coming into my team.
Remember Diva? Okay, Lucio.
So here, when you have
Have
shatter,
shatter?
you need to be thinking
Alright, we're
they
gonna shatter
have a
when this-
shatter.
Look to push.
So your entire team is not behind your shield. They're all over here. What the hell are they doing? You say, stay behind my shield. They have shatter, which means I probably have shatter too. Your team's getting kills. They're probably winning this fight. The only way you lose this is if everybody gets shattered and you all die.
Shatter
So
up here when they push in.
let's not have that happen. This guy, I think he might be looking for it. He's just holding the shield there.
95. They're looking to push through. Soldier far. Soldier
Ryan's
far.
down. Ryan's down.
I would literally just
Nice,
shatter
nice.
anybody there, personally.
Nice job, everyone.
So if I would have just shattered there, to be honest. The instant the Reinhardt went down, I just would have right there.
95.
So
They're looking to push.
you're a billion HP because you got the Lucio ult right here. I would have pressed Q. Instant he died. I
Far,
would've
far.
pressed
Ryan's
Q.
down. Ryan's down.
It didn't matter because they didn't touch.
Nice.
But if they had touched, you know, maybe it would have mattered. So the Reinhardt goes down. It's last fight. Just shatter someone. Solo shatter 'em. I don't care. Kill someone. Use the shatter, right? That's what I would have done. But right there, your team really wasn't playing behind the shield. When you see them not playing behind the shield, and you have shatter, especially like if it's the first shatter of the game, it doesn't matter how bad you are at ultimate tracking. You know that the Reinhardt is well on his way to his shatter, and he might already have it once you have your shatter over the first one of the round. So you need to be telling your team to play spread or behind the shield or something and be like, hey, they probably have earth shatter, look out. because they were all just kind of standing there in the open. So like, say he had shatter, maybe he did. I think he probably did, and he just decided not to use it. Then that's his prerogative. But like, you need to be letting your
Job,
team know.
everyone. Oh my god,
Absolutely
28
huge.
and 1. That was my best game ever.
So I
Yeah,
think
you were
you need
rocking
to
it.
be
Alright.
okay. So main things I want you to work on here is shield management. A lot of the time, you're not standing next to something that you can hide behind. So your shield gets low, it's, 700, 500, you just keep holding it in the choke until it's like broken, basically. So I like once it's like 700 HP, or depending how fast it's going down, even higher than that maybe, I want you to like, start not playing quite as aggressively, especially if the Reinhardt has more barrier on the enemy Reinhardt has more barrier left than you do. So play closer to corners of the chokes, play closer to any wall or whatever when you're having the shield. Make sure you're actually shielding somebody when you have shield, and I'd say most importantly, do not charge straight backwards at people that are diving. The only time that I would do that is, say that they have like a Genji in their dragon blading, I would probably charge at my supports. But most of the time, you don't want to charge backwards, and you don't want to do long charges. You want really, really short ones, ideally like just a couple feet, if at all possible. So I really liked your the way you would shield after every couple swings. That you're a lot better at that than you used to be. I really liked that you called out your Earth Shatters and focused on the Winston bubble and thought about what was going to be going wrong with your shatter before you were doing it. That was great. It was all really fantastic. I just need to see better barrier management and better awareness of where your teammates are so you don't push in alone. All right, I think that's it. I'm gonna end the video here. Um, this was kind of a short one actually. It's only 8 minutes. What the hell? I was kind of expecting it to be longer than this, to be honest. But okay, well, see you on the next one then.